I'm going to give you my top 8 tips for 1Ls just starting out in law school. And because I used to be a radio disc jockey, I'm going to do this DJ style, counting them down from number 8 to number 1. Number 8. Be open to a whole new way of thinking. Law school is just different than what you've studied before. People have called it learning a new language, learning how to think like a lawyer. In fact, one of the coolest things about law school is that you get a whole new way to look at the world, a whole new way to approach puzzles. So open your mind to that. The sooner you become comfortable with that, the sooner you can get to a place where you can start readily absorbing the material, working with it, and feeling good about it. Now we're up to number 7 on our countdown. Have faith. It gets better and easier. This goes with the fact that you're learning a new language, learning a new way of thinking. Once you get a grasp on that, learning more and more gets easier and easier. But give it time. You might not realize that you've learned to think like a lawyer until sometime after fall semester finals. For me, it didn't come until spring break of my 1L year. I went with my college buddy to Acapulco and we went parasailing, which I don't recommend, but he asked if they screwed up the ropes and we fell from the sky, would we be able to sue over that? And I said, well, you'd have to analyze it this way. And I started talking and then I realized I'm doing it. I'm thinking like a lawyer. I'm doing the lawyer thing. So give it time, but have faith. It gets better and it gets easier. Number 6, here's your number 6 tip. Make time for sleep, exercise, and recreation. It's good not only for your law-absorbing brain, it's good for your quality of life. And 1L year is part of your life. Coming in at number 5, embrace confusion and irritation. This is probably the hardest one to accept, but I'm very sincere about it, and it's true. Look, you're smart. If you read some judicial opinion that to you doesn't seem to make sense, doesn't seem to add up, don't assume that the problem is with you. Think critically. Think about what the problem might be with the argument and the analysis you're reading. Dig deep, challenge yourself to figure out what's missing, what may have been glossed over. It may be that the judge is not being fully intellectually honest or has missed something that you're picking up on. That's often why a case has been assigned, because it doesn't sit right with people, because it is irritating, because it gets under your skin. So embrace these things as a trailhead that can lead you to deeper understanding. Number 4, get engaged, get interested in the material. The more engaged and more interested you are in the material, the better you're going to do. Resist having an adversarial relationship with what you're studying. Oh, I don't understand this. I don't get this. I hate this. When it fits, allow yourself to become enraged, not by the fact that you have to study this stuff, but enraged by the analysis or the substance of what you're reading. Enraged is pretty close to engaged. It's a short leap. Sometimes it's the same thing. If you can find a way to light a fire under yourself, it will contribute mightily to your success. We're counting them down all the way to the number 1 tip for 1L starting law school. Here's number 3. Encounter the law your own way. This goes along with getting interested, getting engaged in the material. Figure out what makes the material come alive for you and get you excited about it and get your mind working about it. That is probably what's going to help you retain it and be able to make the most of it on the exam. We're all the way up to number 2. The number 2 tip is keep in mind it's hard for everyone. Everyone, no exceptions. If you look around and some of the 1Ls look like they seem to be having an easy time with the material, that's exactly right. They look like they seem to be having an easy time. It's a new way of thinking. It requires a lot of mental effort and a lot of shifting for everyone, and no one finds it easy. If you truly do feel like it's easy, maybe you need to read deeper, actually. It's just intellectually, mentally tough stuff. And recall tip, remember, it gets better and it gets easier. We've been counting them down all the way from number 8 to number 1, and here it is, the number 1 tip for law school success for 1Ls. Be friendly and generous with everyone. Sometimes people have an instinct to be competitive, to try to figure out how they can hook up with the best people for their study group, get in with the right crowd. Resist that. You will never again in your life have another opportunity as rich as this to network with and make friends with and have genuine connections with so many people who will be in a position to help you out in your later professional life and contribute to your success and your happiness. If someone else missed class and they ask you for notes, be the person who gives them the notes. They're going to get them from somewhere. Might as well get them from you. Build a connection. If you see someone who is alone and doesn't have someone to eat lunch with, be the person who goes over and sits next to them or invites them over to your group of friends. Being generous and friendly with everyone is not only better for your professional development, it's also better for your peace of mind. It's also better for your happiness.